Introducing IHOP's exclusive Sonic the Hedgehog crossover. With 5 main dishes, it's unlike anything you've ever seen. Try Infinite's intimate syrup-covered foot job. Lasts for 2 minutes to show you really have what it takes.
Oh, after the last video, this one is certain to get some attention. Now in come the people in the CC calling me a degenerate, a pedophile, a predator, a zoophile, every other file under the sun, a necrophile, and blah blah blah, because I'm making music for porn games. We're just gonna wait for those comments to roll in, and we're gonna soak them up. Hey guys, Nigger Faggot here, and today I'm going to be speaking on why I personally don't mind making music for hentai games. I should probably clarify now, by the way, that my channel is not a space for minors. If you are, I kindly ask that you get the fuck out. Anyways, let's get into the reasons. Yes, they're all perverts at heart, but they're also some of the friendliest people you'll ever meet. Besides the Into the Wild server, there's also zero politics, which leads to very little arguing. Some people can be a bit too pervy though, but that's about the worst you're really gonna get here. I could literally send them something like my old track Flaws, and they'd probably accept it. I don't need to be a tryhard or really worry about the quality of my works when I produce for hentai games, because not a single player will give a flying fuck about the music in the background. They're all playing it for, let's call it, the visual appeal of the game, if you know what I'm saying. Hentai game creators also don't care about the genre you make either a good 90% of the time. Most of the time they'll say, make what you think fits the theme, which is how I got away with making doom metal for battle music and Aftershores, for example. Originally the music was entirely orchestral, but with the addition of boss fights and secret fights later on, rock music made its way into the game too for variety. Now, if they want something in particular, I'll make it. But I could probably get away with like a piano track for a final boss, like kind of in Dark Souls. Or even a thrash metal track for a main menu just because they're happy to have any form of original music for their game. It's also nice to not be forced to constantly watch my language, what I type, or even just how I feel. Being in a space that's made only for adults just feels more natural on top of it all. Plus, I can send sexy images to Shrek without being shamed for it. It's a total win. And people have already made up their minds on people anyways. And once you help with just one hentai game, you've already got a stigma surrounding yourself, especially in the commentary community. I started helping with my first one in 2022, even had my grandmother help on a track before she died for Into the Wild. And from just that one game alone, I probably already have people thinking I'm some deranged pervert who just fucking beats their meat all day. So I really couldn't care less about joining more projects when they're not safe for work, sorry to say. In fact, I'm making music asset packs for the NSFW Jam server. So expect to hear my works in a lot more hentai projects coming forward and coming soon. And at the end of it all, it's work. It gains my self-experience. Now, do I get paid? No, but I've also never charged for music besides one time for $3 Canadian. Reason being, because the person I was making music for insisted relentlessly, so I eventually caved. For myself, music is a movement as life is but a moment, and I would like to have my musical creations be in as many videos, projects, animations, and indie games as possible. Film projects would be cool for the future, but for now I'm just sticking with the basics. That voice crack though, damn. Funnily enough, I only made music for Into the Wild and one of Tame Shame's projects, and that's where I was going to end the NSFW escapades. But all of a sudden, NSFW game creators started coming to myself looking for music because they'd heard my music from those 2 games in particular. In no other community has this ever happened. To this day, as I've always been the one forced to seek out the other party to make free custom original music for them, oftentimes, even though it's free, getting declined or told my music is not good enough. So it kind of got myself hooked, in all honesty, I'm not going to lie to you guys. And hey, at the end of the day, I'm only making the music for the games, which in itself is still completely safe for work. The tracks can be listened to on SoundCloud, Spotify, Deezer, Tidal, YouTube, and elsewhere, without any NSFW visuals. It's almost like I'm just making music for people to listen to and use elsewhere as well, just with the added bonus of knowing that my works have a home to be used, even if nobody outside the NSFW sphere ever uses them. You might be wondering why reason number 9 is I made history. But it's true, I did. I am currently the only musician in history with over 3,000 musical pieces to also produce specifically for NSFW indie games. Now, that doesn't mean that's all I do, but it means that I'm the only one who has made music for hentai games, who also has over 3,000 tracks to their name. And that kind of makes myself a pioneer in this aspect, and while it's not the cleanest record to hold, it's still my record to hold, and nobody can take that away from myself. That's right, a lot of the music in my EPs and albums were in fact made for hentai games. I just don't put them in the soundtrack format because I know there's always a potential a minor will find my music and, look for the games in question. I'd rather not have them view that kind of material. I just want to take those extra precautions, those extra steps, at least for now. I might put the soundtracks on the Kate and Beatty Bandcamp, but I won't put them on Spotify or anywhere else under that format. It also helps keep myself active with monthly uploads, with anywhere from 4 to 35 tracks depending on how far ahead I care to schedule. Meaning, I virtually never run out of new releases just by making music for games and releasing the music every, 2 to 5 years later after completion. I'm currently working on my October 2030 music, for example, and whilst they're all currently YouTube BGM for Yui, a lot of the 2030 music is indeed for Into the Wild and Aftershores in general. With that out of the way, back into the shadows I go to suck on Shrek's long flaccid cock until he shoots his big load down my tight, wet throat.